Hello, it's Bert. Oh, I told you I might be some time. Yeah, it's been what, a month now? Maybe. But I did say it might be monthly, so maybe it will be weekly. Yeah, it won't be weekly, let's face it. I'm a very busy engine, you know. I've always got something on. So you're lucky I can take time on my busy schedule to do these little rambles for you. I'm actually currently pulling a passenger train as we speak. But for the interest of safety, I've stopped in a siding, and the passengers, you know, they can just listen up. Maybe they'll enjoy it, maybe they won't. We don't know. But I thought it was about time I got back to you with one of my little rambles, because I realise I've been very busy lately. We've been doing all sorts of stuff here at the other railway. Last week, we did a day out with Thomas. Yeah, that was really fun. But obviously Thomas couldn't make it, because you know, Thomas is a very busy person doing promotional materials for his TV show, so he couldn't make it along. So that was a bit disappointing. We were kind of hoping he would make the short journey to the other railway to help us out after all the help we've done for him, because, you know, I mean, we have done a lot of help for him. We're always popping over to Sodor to help out there, aren't we? I mean, you're always seeing me and Harry over at the steelworks or what have you. Diesel is there, like, you know, basically every bloody day. It's like, you know, oh, Diesel, can we come over and can you help us out? And Diesel's like, oh yes, I'll come over and help you out. And then he does so for a bit, and then the back controller's like, Diesel, you've ruined things again. You'll never come back to my show door. And then the next day he comes back. It's basically a revolving door for Diesel. A bit harder for me and Harry, because we do not have the sort of legal protection that Diesel does. Derek has not been over for a long time. Stuck Up has not been over for a long time. Pip and Emma are allowed over, but let's face it, they don't really want to go over very often. If you can imagine what it's like for them on the other railway with the sexism, can you imagine what it's like on the other show? Or let's be honest. I mean, like, I know, you know, there's a lot of lovely, like, lady engines over there now, but even so, it's basically an old boys club in Sodor. So that's probably why I don't go over that often. But there you go. So we had a day out with Thomas. Unfortunately, the biggest problem, you may have guessed, is we couldn't get any steam engines. We weren't going to invite Stevie back for that, because, you know, that would probably have been the last of us. So we decided that we would just dress ourselves up as steam engines and do that way. I think I made a very convincing Diesel, probably because I am Diesel. Well, no, I am a Diesel, I'm not the Diesel. You'd think, wouldn't you, that they'd just get Diesel to play himself? But no, he decided he was going to play Thomas. Which I thought, I mean, personally, I mean, I know I'm an idiot, but, you know, I thought that was a bit silly, really, because he could just be Diesel, and then why would I have to be Diesel then? But he wanted to be Thomas, and to be honest, he didn't do a very good job for being Thomas. He scared away more children than he actually saved. I say saved, I mean, pulled around, but saved from boredom. There were a lot of bored children. They all went like, oh, where's Thomas? I want to see Thomas. And Diesel's like, you stupid kids, I'm Thomas. And well, he wasn't Thomas at all, so it was really disappointing for the children. But I made a convincing Diesel. Derek did a very good job as Henry, I think. He was really good. He got it down to the last second. He even stopped in a tunnel. And in fact, he's still there to this day. And this was at least a couple of weeks ago. He decided that it was raining and he was in character as Henry, so he stopped in a tunnel, and he hasn't come out since. I think he's now legitimately worried that it might ruin his paint. Unfortunately, he was carrying a train with him at the time, and I don't think they've got out. It's entirely possible they are still there, just scrambling around, trying to find some food. I don't know if the buffet car was that well stocked. Plus, it's really expensive, so maybe they were too stingy to buy anything. But he did a really good job. I think we all did, you know, as good a job as we could, given the circumstances that we're not steam engines, we're diesel engines, and it's basically, you know, days out with Thomas are just steam engine propaganda. So I reckon we did a good job aside from that. The Fingit even got in character as the fat controller, with, you know, stuffing pillows and trying to act nice. I don't know if he necessarily succeeded. I would not say he succeeded, but you know, if I don't, no, I have to say he succeeded actually, because, you know, he's my boss, and if I don't praise him up, he'll probably scrap me, or at least, like, you know, put some sugar in my tank. And you know, frankly, I like a bit of sugar in the tank. I reckon it's a thrill. it's a bit of a buzz, but it really ruins your mobility. So, it's basically, would put me online. So I wanted to talk to you. I got a little distracted there. Basically, I wanted to talk to you about something near and dear to my heart. That's art. That's like heart, the thing that goes pump inside your bodies. Not art, as in like paintings and pretty pictures and poetry, which I mean is my art. I am, as you well know, a poet, and I do know it. There is no need to point that out to me. And frankly, I'm getting a bit sick of people who constantly feel the need to point it out. They're always like, "Oh, you're a poet, and you didn't know it." And I did know it, and frankly, it's upsetting to me that you don't think I know it. I mean, I know in the past I've mentioned that my lack of brain pills has led me to some silly decisions in the past. Like, for example, one time I did forget the brain pills and thought that I was a London Underground train. This did cause some problems because, we don't actually have any underground lines on the railway, so I tried to dig some. That didn't go so well. Even to this day, farmers still can't use that grass. Many bunnies died. But aside from that, I have made some silly decisions in the past, but I don't think that's justified you coming up to me and being all, "Oh, you're a poet and you didn't know it." Well, I did know it, so how dare you? And I'm glad that I ran them down. They probably survived. I don't know. I didn't go to hospital with them afterwards. I was busy making more poetry. But something near and dear to my heart is what I want to talk about, and that's travel. Now, as you know, I'm an experienced traveller. I've often been to many places around the globe, including North Korea, Syria, Libya. That's probably right. Libya? It sounds like a bone, doesn't it, Libya? Like, "Oh, doctor, I've got a problem with my Libya." And he'd say, "Oh, let's look in my telescope." And he probably would have a stethoscope, but you can't look in that, so you got a telescope, and you can see Libya. Maybe it's an X-ray telescope. That would be an amazing thing. I think you people should make a petition now for an X-ray telescope. It could be called Bert's X-ray telescope because I invented it. But obviously someone else will actually have to invent it. I'm just an ideas engine. But yes, so as you know, I'm an experienced traveller, going to many places around the world. Mostly dictatorships, I've noticed, but where you can. But recently I've been to Canada. I've been to Canada to see the Railway Museum. Now the story there is right. I don't know. I mean, I don't know where you live. You might live in England or you might live in Norway. Those are the only options. But I don't know if you've been to the Railway Museum in York. I have. It's pretty nice. There's lots of trains, and I'll say that because there are actually some trains there. I know. I mean, definitely Ari's been on my case a lot lately because he keeps saying trains instead of engines, and he's all like, "Oh, you're not an engine, you're a train," or "No, you are a train, no, you're not a train." And I'm like, "I'm confused, Harry, because you're not making sense." And he's like, "Yeah, you're not a train unless you're pulling stuff behind you. Otherwise, you're just an engine." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And I keep getting it wrong. He keeps batting me about it. So I'll try to be good about it. But but there are some trains there, but there's lots of engines too. And it's really nice. They're all gathered round, and you can look around them and get lots of merchandise and some food, and you can it's like going to Tokyo. That's one exhibit. It's not like going to Tokyo, I imagine. I don't think Tokyo is just like the York Railway Museum. It might be. I doubt it is though. But yes, you can go there. You see all the engines gathered round in a big turntable, and there's all Mallard and those sort of things, and rockets there, I think. And basically, you've seen it before, and all the kids are like, "Oh, look at all the trains, and oh, it's the Hogwarts Express. I want to go around the Hogwarts Express." And I hate that Hogwarts Express because when I went, right, it was just bloody no one wanted to see me, star of TV and radio. No, they all want to see bloody Hogwarts Express. He's like, "Oh, it's movie you want in the movie. He took Harry Potter, yay!" And so, Harry Potter. Now, frankly, right, I could have written Harry Potter with my wheels shut. Like they could have been put in clamps. I could have written it like that because it's basically I'm a teenage boy and I've got magic powers. Oh, look at me, it's a magic world. Yeah, it's bloody Harry Potter. And obviously, the Hogwarts Express is in the movie, so he's all like, "Oh, look at the movie." I hate him. I hope the Hogwarts Express dies. That's not even a joke. Sometimes I wish people would die as a joke, but that's not a joke. I hate the Hogwarts Express. I hope it dies. But the York Museum is pretty nice, and I was looking for somewhere to go, and because we don't actually have any holiday time here in the other railway, but you can usually sneak away for about a week before the thing it notices. He's not very reliable, but so you usually get away for about a week before he notices. So I went away. I think actually I tricked him because I was going to go to the Island of Sodor, but got on the wrong boat and went to Canada instead. Because I heard in Toronto they had a railway museum, and I thought, oh well, I could be a big star attraction there, because obviously people in America like Thomas, and they might want to see me because I've been in Thomas a lot, not as much as I should be. Keep petitioning for Bert, more Bert in Series 17. But I went over there to be the star attraction, and it was terrible. Let's face it. I showed up right, expecting there to be a big hoopla, and maybe even a game of hoopla, but there wasn't even that. No, it's basically right. You expect this massive building like in York, and all the trains are gathered round. Well, yeah, it's a turntable. It's basically just a turntable, and they've got a water tower, which is pitifully small. And also that's it. It's basically a turntable and a microbrewery, so you can get some small drinks for very expensive prices. And to say I was disappointed would be right. You should say that. I will say I was disappointed. So don't go over there. It's not worth it. Maybe if you live there, you might want to look at it, but I wouldn't bother, especially because you'd have to pay a lot of money for those drinks, and you'd need a lot of those drinks to make it worthwhile going, because it's terrible. There's some engines there, but there's no truck there, because you try to talk to them, more normal, intelligible voice, and they're just like, oh, hey buddy, hey, what's going on here? Oh, look, what's all this about? And I'm like, you stereotypical Canadian engines, I won't talk to you anymore. And I sat in silence and steamed. Obviously that's steamed like I was angry, not steamed as in like steam engine, because I'm a diesel engine. And if you don't know the difference by now, then come on, really. There's a whole featurette on some DVD. It was that. Oh, was it the Cornwall engines? That was the one. Because I was in that, wasn't I? I think I was in that. I should have been in that, because I think it was about the steam engine versus the diesel engines, and I'm a shining example of a diesel engine, as Pip and Emma can tell you. They totally have the odds for me, and why not? Because I am a very attractive diesel engine, and in no way do I look like all the other diesel engines, like Diesel and Harry. I'm totally unique and handsome, as you can see, and I think they love my little stubble. It's quite hard to go stubble when you're a train. Engine, sorry Harry. Oh, he's not here. Well, screw you Harry. Oh, don't tell him I said that, because you probably beat me up. But I'm a very handsome engine. It's very hard to go stubble as an engine, but I managed it, and I think it looks really good on me, And obviously they think the same, because every night it's like, oh, Bert, let's make out, and I'm all like, yeah, I'll make out with you, and then it's kissy kissy kissy. That happens all the time, and not just in my dreams. But yeah, so I was disappointed by the Toronto Museum, and I expected it to be a bit more of a fuss, but it turned out wasn't much fuss at all. Also disappointed by Niagara Falls. Now, I know what you're thinking, Bert, you've got to take your brain pills again. Niagara Falls is a wonderful place. No, it's terrible. Honestly, don't even bother. It's stupid. It's like, you go there, right? I went there, and it was really hard, because obviously their rails are much bigger over there, because everything's bigger in North America, let's face it. I mean, basically, I've worked it out. The reason is, right, in North America, there's just so much space, and you just got a need to fill it, so you make everything really big. So there's less space, It's kind of like, if you bought a house, right, and you just had a spare room, and you're just like, I don't know what to do with this room, so you just put all your stuff in it, like all the boxes and that. That's basically North America. It's the extra room where there's too much space and trying to fill up with all the boxes you can. So that's why everything over there is so big. So I had to get training wheels from my real wheels so I could run along the tracks. I felt very, very silly. Although it was kind of funny a little bit. I was going, wee, and it was funny, but embarrassing at the same time. So I went to Niagara Falls to see what all the fuss was about. I couldn't even find them That's no joke. I know you're thinking, oh, Bert, you're as thick as two short planks. That's true, and yet you still couldn't find it, right? Even if I was a mega genius, I would have struggled. You think, right? You go to Niagara Falls, and there'd be a big sign saying Niagara Falls waterfall, big massive waterfall over here. There'll be lots of signs, because that's basically all you want to go to Niagara Falls for, is the big massive waterfall. But no, there's one sign on one road, and it says falls over here, and it doesn't even lead you to the falls. It leads you to America. So I didn't want to go there, for obvious reasons. I didn't even have my passport to get into Canada, so you can imagine what I'd be like at the US Border Patrol. I'm not going through that again. No, it was very cold hands. But so I eventually, once you get through all the tat of Niagara Falls, and it's a very tacky place. Oh my goodness me! Imagine like the biggest tourist trap you can think of, and times it by 1,000,000,000. That's basically Niagara Falls, right? If I could sum up Niagara Falls in one simile, it's like a Blackpool without any class, and they put a big massive blanket over the pleasure beach so you can't see it. Even I thought it was terrible, and I live on the other railway, so that's clearly an indication right there. And you get the waterfall, and it's just a lot of water falling down, a hill, which it's not really that impressive, really. I mean, just water going down a hill. It's hardly like bloody miracle. That's what water does. It goes down things. I mean, if it went up the hill, if it went up an hill, then that would be much better, and I could see what all the fuss would be about. Now I would be there going, oh, look at that! It's water going up an hill. Now I would go a bit Yorkshire for that, because when I'm impressed, sometimes I put on a bit of a Yorkshire accent. But as I think we all do from time to time. But so if it went up the hill, that'd be fine. But it goes down the hill, so it's much less impressive. Frankly, you could get the same thing if you just poured a glass of water over, and just imagine that on a bigger scale, really. So that was majorly disappointing. Basically, Canada is majorly disappointing, or at least that bit of Canada. The other bits might be nice. I don't want to ruin ties with Canada, because I might have to go back there someday, because I'm a big major star of TV and radio, as you well know. But if you want to go there, I wouldn't recommend going to the Railway Museum. Go to the one in York. Go to the one in the other railway. Go to the other Railway Museum. It's a wonderful thing. It's bigger than the one in York, because basically the old railway is a museum when you think about it, and you'll find a lot more colourful characters there, and you can even see all your favourites. You can see Bert, your favoritist. You can see Harry, your second favoritist. I have to say that because he might beat me up. There's Dog Stuck Up and Diesel and Derek and Bib and Emma, and even the Thing Git will get in on the show. By which I mean he'll show up, not that he'll put on a show. But don't be too disappointed, because sometimes he puts on stripper shows, and I wouldn't recommend them. I had to see one once, and your anatomy, basically human anatomy, freaks me out as it is. But I really didn't need a big up close demonstration. Well, I say a big up close demonstration, but frankly, it was a bit hard to look. If you get my meaning, I mean the Thing Git is not very well endowed. That's my meaning. I thought I'd spell it out for you. Yeah, he's really small. He's got a small following though, which is appropriate, I think. He does actually have a small following of crazy people who enjoy his body. Looking at it, I should say. I don't know if it goes any further than that. But so that's basically all I've got to say. So I thank you for listening. And yes, follow my advice. Don't go to the Toronto Railway Museum. Go to the York Railway Museum, but then don't go to the York Railway Museum, because that bloody Hogwarts Express is there. I hate him so much, I hope he explodes. Just don't go there. Go to the other railway. That's much better. And you can see all my favourites, including Bert, star of TV and radio. And now I've been ranting on for a bit, and frankly these passengers, you probably can't hear them because the microphone's quite close to me here, but they're getting quite angry now. So it might be time to get them moving. They're throwing things at me now. Well, that's just really polite, isn't it? They're throwing things at me and telling me what a horrible railway this is, so I think I might just dump them off a cliff. I think they deserve it. So I'm off to do that, and I will catch you another time, and so long.